Thank you for joining us today. I'm Dusty Kirkbride, ProTech Automotive Solutions Technical Training Manager. Today we're going to be doing a pre-scan and a dynamic calibration on a 2016 Chevy Suburban. The calibration that we're going to be doing today is going to be a windshield camera in the glass as if the windshield had been replaced. So the first thing that we want to do whenever we're doing one of these calibrations is we want to document our file. We document our file by first taking pictures. We want to get all four corners, the tire pressures, the door jams placard sticker and the VIN tag, as well as the dash mileage. So let's get started. While getting all of your pictures of the vehicle on the outside, you want to make sure that whenever you're taking your picture that you're getting the entire vehicle on all four corners in your picture. Once you got all four corners of the vehicle, next we're going to switch to the tire pressures. We recommend doing this with a cell phone as it's a lot easier to do than using a screenshot with the Alto. Alright, now that we have documented all the tire pressure on the vehicle, next we want to take a picture of the UPD, or the unrelated prior damage. This is important to keep us from having to debate with customers or anything about damage that might have been prior to the test drive, the drive cycle, or the dynamic calibration. Now that we got all of our UPD, our tire pressures, and any kind of all the four corners of the pictures of the car on the outside, we're going to switch to the inside of the vehicle. First off, we want to document the tire pressure placard as well as the VIN tag. Once we get those done, we want to document the mileage on the vehicle by taking a picture of the cluster. We also want to make sure that there's no indication lights or warning lights on the dash. Now to do so, that we want to turn the ignition on, but the engine off. On like this vehicle, it's a modern GM, so we're going to hold the ignition on for 10 seconds and it'll lock the ignition key on. All right. Now that we've documented that, it's on to the pre-scan. Now, to do the pre-scan and the calibration, we're going to use an Altel 906. Whenever you should have a 906 and then the small dongle that goes with it. We're going to plug the dongle into the OBD2 port. Now, once we plug the dongle in, we're going to wait for it to identify and link, and it'll give us this VCI logo here. Whenever that beeps at you and gives you a little green arrow, that means you're paired. You can hit the back button if you don't want to go to that menu. Once you're at this point and you've got a green check down here by your VCI, we're going to hit VIN, auto detect, we're going to hit pre-scan, and then we're going to type in the RO number. Hit OK. Once this screen comes up, it's obviously read the VIN and we know that it's good. We're going to verify that VIN with the VIN sticker on the door. Okay, VIN's verified. Once we verify the VIN, we're going to go back to the scan tool and we're going to hit OK. Confirm that it is a 2016 light-duty Chevy Suburban. Yes. This vehicle here, these are RPO codes. So an RPO code is the manufacturer's build codes. These are not common on every vehicle. This particular vehicle does have RPO codes because it's a GM. So we're going to go over to the glove box and we're going to find those RPO codes. This is a really important step when identifying the vehicle, because if you select the wrong RPO codes for the vehicle, It can change the way that the scan tool reads the car, and so you want to definitely make sure you identify those. If you cannot find them on the vehicle, you can call into Protec's virtual support, and they can help assist you with that. So on this particular vehicle, you can see the RPO codes are inside the glove box. And the RPO codes are going to have this number right here in parentheses. So we're going to identify that there's an L83 in that list. Okay. Then it will ask us, and this is where it gets important, it's asking us if we have a distance sensing cruise control or if it's not equipped. It's a K59 RPO code. Does not have a K59 RPO code, so we're going to hit not equipped. If I would have picked distance sensing, whenever it pulls the ADAS menu, it would have told me that I had cruise control, or it would have thought I had cruise control, and this vehicle does not have cruise control. So now we're going to go into, and it's asking me if it has the suspension module for Z95. Once again, this is very important. It does have Z95. Now it's performing the scan. We're going to continue back over to the driver's side at this point. Back to more RPO codes. This particular vehicle is a two-wheel drive. It's asking if we have a transfer case or a two-speed transfer case. We know that it's not four-wheel drive, so we're going to go ahead and select two-wheel drive. All right, it brings us into the main menu. Now, on this particular part, we're going to do a pre-scan, and so we want to go into the pre-scan mode. It's going to ask us for the customer's name, last name, so we're going to go ahead and enter that stuff in. It's going to ask us for the mileage. Once we've entered all the pertinent information, we're going to hit OK, and it's going to pull us into this menu now. Now it's actually going through and it's scanning every module in the vehicle. We're just going to let it carry that out and wait for it to finish. Sometimes this takes a little bit longer. Hondas, Fords generally take a little bit longer on the scans. So if it's going really slow, just be patient. It will populate all the modules. Right now, if you notice, our battery voltage is at 12.76 volts. That's good. You always want to make sure your battery is above 12 volts. If it's not, then you want to go ahead and start the vehicle or hook a battery maintainer up to it. At this point, you can see that we're at 58%. We do have fault codes in our front camera module. Now sometimes whenever you do a scan on a vehicle, you may have fault codes in there that aren't related to what we're doing. Once we get through the scan and we save the report, we're going to go ahead and clear some of those codes, but sometimes they will not be related. So now that it's completed the scan, it's at 100%, we're going to go over here and hit the button report. We're going to scroll through this. We're going to see a lot of passes and fails. If we go down to the bottom, it's going to give us a DTC count. So all of these DTCs on this particular vehicle say history, past, all the way down, and these are all history codes. History codes are okay. If they say active or current, then you might have a problem, but these are all not current. So at this point, we're going to scroll back down. We're going to hit save all data. It'll pull up this screen here, and at this point we're going to type in the RO number and again. Scroll down here and we're going to also enter the RO number, and this time we're going to put the vehicle make and model in it. Now that we've got our information entered correctly, we're going to hit save. And now that scan is saved. So we're gonna go to email. We're gonna email this to ourselves. All right, now we got that. You don't really have to put anything in the body of the email unless you want to. You can maybe put the RO number next to the subject line. Sometimes that can help you identify it on your emails. So we're gonna go ahead and enter that RO number here again. Once you got all that, you just hit send. And then send again. And now our pre-scan is sent. Once we've sent the pre-scan, we're going to go back into this menu, into the pre-scan. We're going to hit escape, and we're going to go ahead and hit quick erase. Now what quick erase is going to do is it's going to go in and delete all of those history codes. You want to make sure that you're only deleting history codes or any codes that might be related. That way you have a clean bill of health whenever you do the dynamic calibration. Sometimes if you have codes current in the system, it will not let you do the calibration. So, all right, we've hit quick erase. We identified that we have no more fault codes. Now at this point, it's really cool. We've worked with Autel to put this little icon that you see in here. Now this lets you know that the vehicle is absolutely equipped with ADAS. It's got a parking control module, it's got a front view camera module, which is what we're going to calibrate today, and then the human control interface module, which is just an interface for the vehicle, but that will show those ADAS logos and let you know that there is ADAS present in this system. Now that we've completed the pre-scan, we're going to go ahead and back out of the menu, and we're going to go ahead and replace the windshield at this point. This is whenever you would change the windshield out, get that done and completed. You want to do that with the key in the off position. Do not turn the key on while you have the windshield out, because it could cause additional DTC codes. So once we've replaced the windshield, we're going to turn the key back on and have the ignition locked on with the vehicle off. We're going to go back into our scan tool. We're going to back all the way back out. We're going to hit bin again. Auto detect. We're going to hit post scan this time, and that's very important. If you're in pre-scan mode, it will not let you do the calibration. You can only do it in post scan mode. We're going to enter the RO number, hit OK. We've identified that it is the correct VIN number, so we're going to hit OK. Yes. Now it's going to ask us for our RPO codes again, so we'll hit all of the RPO codes that we've already identified. If you forgot them, please check them again, because it's very important that you get this right. All right. Now we've gotten back to this menu, and we're going to hit ADAS calibrate. Now at this point, the scan tool is only going to scan the ADAS systems, all those systems that we identified in the report that had the little ADAS icon next to them. It's going to pick all of those up. Okay, now this vehicle is equipped with parking assist control module, a front view camera module, a human interface control module, which is going to be your steering wheel controls, and then also the left side detection control module, which is blind spot monitors. So there is no calibration for these, as you don't see the little targets. These are just make sure that they function properly and you can go. What we're going to be calibrating today is the front view camera module. So we're going to hit the little target there that you see next to that. Now at this point, it's going to ask you what you did to the vehicle. Okay. We removed and reinstalled the front view camera module? No. We replaced the front windshield, did we not? Yes. Okay, so we're going to go there. We're going to hit OK. Now it's going to give us our calibration preparations. We're going to clean the windshield, ensure the front view camera is installed properly. That's a big one. Adjust the tire pressure, which we've already done. Ensure the gas tank is full, and connect the diagnostic tablet to the vehicle. We've already done all of those. So at this point, we're going to drive the vehicle under the following conditions for 3 to 5 minutes, or until the calibration is completed. So it'll actually give you the steps that you're going to walk through. Now during this calibration drive, we're going to maintain a vehicle speed of 35 to 56 miles per hour. We're going to drive on a straight road with stationary objects such as street signs, guardrails, mailboxes, or parked vehicles on the side. And we're going to drive it during the daytime. Avoid lane changes, and good weather conditions should be present. So if it's raining outside, you're not going to be able to do the calibration. If it's high traffic outside and you can't get over the into these speed limits for a consistent amount of time, then you may not be able to perform the calibration at this point. You may have to come back at a later time and do that. So once we've identified that we have all of our preparations done, we're going to hit OK. Now it's going to say use the front view camera learn function on the diagnostic tablet to start the calibration. Maintain a vehicle speed of 38 to 56 miles per hour, and the lane departure warning indicator light is going to be amber during the calibration, and it says do not exit the screen or press any buttons until the calibration is complete. If the lane departure warning switch is depressed during calibration, the indicator will flash temporarily and then go out. This is normal. The learning procedure will take about 5 minutes. When the indicator turns green, the procedure is complete. Now before we hit OK, we're going to go ahead and get in the vehicle and get ready to go do our dynamic calibration. Alright, now we're getting ready to go do our drive cycle and our dynamic calibration. The first thing you want to do is always, before you leave and you leave the shop and get ready to go do your calibration, check your mirrors, check all of your mirrors, make sure your seat's adjusted, your steering wheel, anything that you need to do to make sure that you're driving the vehicle properly and safely, and always wear your seatbelt. So once again, now our scan tool told us that we need to be going 38 to 56 miles an hour. The lane departure warning indicator will light amber during calibration. Don't exit. We've already gone through all this. We're going to go ahead and hit OK. And it says, are you sure you want to perform calibration? Yes. Alright. Use the front view camera learn function of the diagnostic tablet to start the calibration. Maintain a vehicle speed, and the lane departure warning indicator will light amber during green. So now we can see our lane departure warning down there, and it is green or amber. And so we're going to go ahead and back up and go start our calibration. Okay, as you see, we have a progress bar on the top. We're going to wait till we got a clear shot of traffic. Alright, now we've reached a speed of about 35 miles an hour. And as you can see, the progress bar is going to start functioning at this point. We're still going to make sure that we're keeping our eyes on the road. You don't really want to pay attention to the tablet. Just quickly glance down and make sure that the progress bar is actually in motion. As you can see here, we're going to get on the highway and the traffic is moderate. And we want to make sure that we stay between those miles per hour. So typically you want to be in slow lane while doing this. And you want to try and maintain the same lane as it said in the instructions. So anytime that we're going to go out and do one of these calibrations, you have to keep in, be aware that everybody around you does not know that you're doing a calibration. So you can't go out there and do any kind of evasive maneuvers or test the system around anybody that doesn't know what you're doing. So we want to make sure that we maintain safety first and just follow the calibration guidelines. Every once in a while, we're going to glance down and make sure that our progress bar is moving. sometimes the level of traffic can affect how fast the calibration may take. Different makes and models, of course, can affect that too. The main thing is that you want to try and stay within the speed limits, that the appropriated speed limits, and try not to change lanes and make a bunch of sudden moves. Just try to keep it as steady and as fluid as possible. That's going to help the calibration work better. Still keeping an eye on our progress bar down here. We're at 91%. Generally, it doesn't take long. Like I said, a lot of it may depend on how heavy the traffic is, what speed you're going, and if you're really, the closer you can get to the situation that the service procedure calls for, the tool calls for, the better off you are. Alright. The the calibration completed. We're going to hit OK. And here you can see that it says calibrated, and that the front view camera learn progress is at 100%. Alright, now we're back to the shop, so we're going to continue on and finish up this calibration by doing a post scan on the vehicle. Now to do the post scan, it's the same process as the pre-scan. We're going to go ahead and put the dongle in on the OBD2 port, as you can see down there. We're going to lock the ignition cylinder on. Alright. And then we're going to go through the same process as we did before, but this time we're going to hit VIN, auto detect. We're going to hit post scan, and we're going to type in the RO. And then hit OK. Yeah. Once it identifies the VIN, once again, we're going to check and make sure 3892. Okay, we're good there. We're going to hit OK. Hit yes. Go through our RPO codes again. Okay, and this time we're going to go into, we're going to go into post scan. And we'll follow the progress bar. Right now we're at 9%, 12%. Once again, you want to make sure you always keep an eye on your voltage. This vehicle's pretty new, so the battery on it's going to stay up strong, but you definitely want to make sure that that doesn't really dip below about 12 volts. Now, once you do the post scan, you may come across some some fault codes in the system. We can go back in. We're going to check those here in a second. If they're history codes, we can go ahead and delete those and should be good. Sun load sensor. Okay, we're at 100%, so we're going to hit report. We're going to scroll down, and we're going to go ahead and check out and see what those extra codes were. Alright, as you can see, we do have one in our calibration data, calibration not learned. That's because we had to start the calibration process as we were moving. So we're going to go ahead and that's a history code. And then also down here, driver's door switch open circuit not plausible. That's also because we had the key on and the door open while we were switching the ignition on. So we're going to go ahead and hit escape. We're going to hit, actually we're going to go back into report, I'm sorry. We're going to hit save all data. And then we're going to go ahead and type in the information again. It's absolutely important that you label this, that way you can make sure you're good. Save it successful. So at this point we're going to hit the back arrow, we're going to back out to this menu, we're going to hit escape again. And at this point we're going to hit quick erase. Alright, we have no fault codes there, so we're going to hit report again. Scroll down, we're good there, so we're going to actually save this information one more time. And you can simply highlight these. Alright, and then we're going to hit save. Alright, once we've hit save, we're going to back out, we're going to hit escape. We've still got our clear bill of health. We're going to hit escape again. It's going to say, are you sure? And we're going to hit OK. And that's it.